This funding lasts until you're done with medicine. 6 years. So it's not the most glamorous pay that you can get, but I mean, if you did not have this kind of funding, people would not be doing any PhDs because by the time they get out of med school and get their PhDs, they'd be so much in debt, well, they wouldn't afford to be able to do research. Another advantage really is that you can start your scientific training earlier. I mean, you can start your scientific training later, but then what will happen is, let's say I do medicine residency, then I do my PhD. Well, PhD itself is going to be without the protections that you get from the PhD program, 5-6 years. And then you need to do a postdoc, 2-3 years at least. So you're going to spend probably in the range of 7 to 8 years for your PhD training, your scientific training, if you want to be a scientist, after doing all your stuff in medicine. So if you think that you forget everything that you did in medicine, like from having spent a couple of years doing your PhD during medicine, imagine doing that after you got all the technical training. Licensing boards don't like that. They're very cognizant of this problem. So you will get a lot of talk doing it. So by doing it this way, you can really stagger the amount of time you spend away from medicine and spend time away from research. And this is important because of how rapidly things can change. My experience with the program. Med school is not fun. I don't think that anyone will ever tell me otherwise. You will have, if you go to McGill, an exam every 3 weeks, like a metronome. At every single exam, you will need to memorize a paper double-sided that is this thick. I am not exaggerating. And it's going to be a multiple choice exam, usually, and it's going to be regurgitation. It's all. And so by the time you're finished with basic medicine and taking all these exams, you're so sick of these things. You're really happy. Finally, I get to do something that's really fun and interesting. Then you start grad school, you start your research. So at first you're relieved. But then the relief ends when nothing works. And so when I say, Section A is not just my experience, it's actually representative of the experience of quite a few different people. And most of research, actually, that's what it's starting. What project do you think that you're going to be starting with for your PhD? It's not the project that you're going to be working with. It's the project you think you're going to be working with. It's your launch pad for when you're going to find out, when people were wrong about concepts and how you can go about showing people were wrong about concepts and how your concepts, your solutions to address these things that were wrong are right. So that means that when nothing works, and then when things start to work, then they won't make sense within the established dogma that has been set up around the bubble. So this usually takes about a couple of years, and this happens to everyone. That means that if you do this for 2 years and you have a 3 to 4 year program, it means you have a very small time frame to actually do the vast majority of the work that will be relevant for your thesis. So you need to get publications within that time period, and you need to generate results. And the thing that's really tough, and most people don't realize, is that when we say it's a 3 to 4 year program, it's actually not 4 years. If we break it down, it looks like this. But I essentially want to graduate before going back to med school because having to write my thesis and defend while doing clinical rotations really sucks. I'm already going to have to remember everything that I've forgotten, and I'm going to have to relearn all the new stuff. I'm going to be kind of busy. So, and I've seen this happen to other people, and it's not cool. So that means if I want to make sure that I graduate on time, means I need to submit my thesis probably around the summer, which means that I lose 6 months right there. So if I lose 6 months, that means I have 3.5 years. But then I don't really have 3.5 years because if I want to have my thesis worked out by that time point, I need to make sure that I have all my work done and all my publications at least submitted by that time point. And because the way the time frame it works for publications is not an instantaneous process, it takes a few months. It means it probably needs to be done more in quarter into the year, which is about half a week. And so that means that if you have probably the range of a little over a year to generate the bulk of your thesis. This is not quite as daunting as it may seem, although it is very demanding. And the thing that is actually really useful that I want to point out of this is the application program directors. You want to have a couple of those people on your thesis committee because you want those people to act as big, giant gorillas. So that when you have someone be like, I don't think that Patrick has generated enough results to graduate. I think we should do another year. Their purpose there is to have shoot them. It's to shoot them down. Just say no. It's going back to medicine. And you really get a lot of support, you get a lot of protection from being in this program that you would not get otherwise, which is really necessary if you want to graduate within this time frame. Now, finally, it's because of the hardships of having to go through your PhD, you're actually, ironically, going to go back to med school, and that may seem like a relief, unless, of course, you end up being done on time. Then it's not quite a relief, it's a whole lot of stress. And then, you go from being at the top of your game, you're the master of your tiny little slice of the universe, and everyone will treat you like you missed the first day of first grade that you never caught. You will get crap from people that you cannot even imagine that you can get crap from. And of course, I can't say this personally because I'm Didn't back yet, but this is a quote. So it does happen. And so it takes a bit of a realignment of perceptions. So finally, probably what you guys are most interested in, what is my advice for people wanting to get in? Getting into the PhD program is actually not really that difficult. The problem is getting into med school. There were questions earlier about like the order, how you go about applying. When you apply for the PhD, you don't really need to worry about, do I need to apply for both MD or PhD? It's actually, the applications, even if you apply for the PhD, are considered separate. What's going to happen is you're going to do the interviews with everybody first, and then if the MD takes you, then they come see us and say, well, do you want this person? And we'll say yes. Typically, the people that we do not want, which happens extremely rarely, typically don't get to med school anyway. So it's not really been a decision that we've had to make. So we have a pretty good high pass rate. But the thing is, when we talk about this pass rate, it's a bit like Dr. Berger mentioned earlier, with well, the number of people that actually apply. You don't have a huge chunk of people that are going to be doing PhDs. It's a very specialized program. It's not for everybody, especially not everybody in the medical group, but it's there for people that actually want to do it. You may think that research as an undergrad is useful, but it's not necessary. If you want to apply like before, at the same time you apply for med school, yeah, it's necessary. But I mean, if you decide to not start with the PhD at first, but just start with med school, you actually have the opportunity when you're in med school to do research in summer, in the fall, and winter. And they will give you money. They will give you thousands of dollars to do this. If only for the money it's worth doing. But it's also good experience to do it. And essentially, the real deadline for the PhD is not when you apply for the PhD program. Because as long as you're in med school, you can apply to go into the program. Well, as long as you're in your first year. Because the deadline is the second year of medical school. The only thing you need to do really is come in, see me, or see one of the other directors or the other representatives of the program, and tell us if you're interested in doing research. And then we'll hook you up with an interview and find out whether or not this program is for you. And this is what people will want to know. And notice that they really don't care what it is that you've been doing or what it is that you're interested in doing. The only thing that people on your committee will ever care about asking you if they're from the PhD directors is, are you going to graduate? Is this publishable? Are you going to graduate on time? Are you going to graduate? It's the only thing they will continuously bash into you because they want to ensure that you actually end up completing the program. So everything is really devised at, like, do you know what you're getting into? It's like, what is your research experience? Are you aware that research is a massive roller coaster with very high highs and very low lows? Because you need to know, you need to at least be cognizant of this because otherwise you're in for a bad trip. Do you have a supervisor and you have a field to go into? This is really important because if you have a bit of experience with a given supervisor, it actually helps you a lot because research is not just about like the actual work that you're doing. So it has a lot to do with the environment and the support that you're getting from the people around you. Why do you want to go in a given field? So you need to make sure also that you're properly motivated to actually do this in order to make sure you do it within the proper time frame because you need to have a lot of external long-term goals to actually want to do the work. Can this supervisor provide you with the proper support to graduate on time? This is really important because a lot of the time, you guys, some of you read PhD comics and you can see like the jokes with like the evil supervisor with the glasses who's never there and is always parading his students. That's actually not far from reality. Supervisors are not always there for you. And so you need to be very careful when you pick supervisors to make sure that you're going to have someone that will monitor you and make sure that you don't fall through the cracks. Make sure that the project that you're actually going through is something that you're going to be able to publish and like defend and get your thesis. You need to make sure that this person is actually going to be around to read your papers and you need them submitted so they don't sit on his desk for over a year, which makes it happen. And it sucks when it does because the longer it takes, the longer it sits on the desk, the longer it's going to be before you can graduate. Finally, if you have what it takes to finish a PhD within the appropriate time frame, like, can you show them, do you have any evidence for like the directors that you can handle, you can work under duress? On the philosophy end, they're going to want to know, what does being a clinician investigator mean to you? Why do you want to even do this job to begin with, considering the demands that are on the job? And it's more of a, you're not doing this for fun. You're doing this because you actually enjoy like, the field and the kind of work you're doing. You find it motivating and valorizing to be able to do translation. So, and finally, are you aware of the pressures that you're going to face, either time-wise and from your personal life, by trying to balance out the already very demanding jobs? So, in summary, the PhD program is for everybody, but it's really an excellent opportunity to find ways to bridge science and medicine. It's about finding ways to become a leader in your field by changing the way things are done, by bringing a fresh perspective on the way that the system works. So I guess we can handle questions maybe outside if you have any questions. Let's go ahead.
Anyone have any questions?
Yeah, the question wasn't really us. Did you say that was us?
No. Different model.